Good morning, Swami. My name is Nicholas. My question is, can you reflect upon that story you taught when you were a novice with the senior sadhu who has told you that we're missing it 1,000 times each moment? What was his exact paradigm shift, and how has that left a deep impression on your mind?
Yes, what you're referring to, it has left a deep impression on my mind, because I don't have to even, I was just noticing, I didn't have to make an effort to recollect what's he talking about. I know immediately what you're talking about. This happened about nearly 30 years ago, 27, 28 years ago. There was this monk, we have a small ashram near Jairambati. Jairambati is the birthplace of the Holy Mother, and there's a big ashram there. There's a smaller ashram in a village a few kilometers from Jairambati, which is called Koalpara. And this monk was the head of the Koalpara ashram at that time, long ago. It was nearly 27, 28 years ago, and he's not alive anymore. He was a strange one, that monk. I've heard many stories about him, but I met him just the once or twice, that's all. And we, as a group of novices, we were taken our first visit to Jairambati and that village Koalpara and the ashram there where Holy Mother is to go. It's even now it's completely a village. Jairambati is transformed into a bigger and bigger village, almost like a small town now, almost. Whereas Koalpara is still a village, completely a village. There are mud houses and all, huts. And the ashram is also very small. So I remember this monk was sitting there, and we as youngsters who had first time visiting, we were walking around, and I went and sat near him. He was drinking tea from a little clay pot, like the matka you get in India. He was drinking tea and he was talking to us. I still remember one, apart from what you said, one interesting thing was he was drinking this tea, and a little girl from the village was standing there holding onto the wooden beam of the hut, the pillar of the hut, and looking longingly at the cup of tea in his hand. And while the monk was talking to me, even sort of absent-mindedly, he handed over the little cup to the little girl, who happily took it and scampered off. And then this monk turned to me and he said, "You know, Vishwarup," that's my pre-monastic name. "You know, Vishwarup, we are missing it 1,000 times every day, every moment. It's right here. We're missing it 1,000 times every moment." The more I studied Vedanta over the years and decades since, I begin to see what he means. It's blazing forth here all the time. We are surrounded in it. We are immersed in it. But yet we are missing it. Why we are missing it? Perhaps precisely because it's not one thing among many other things. If it was one thing among many other things, one of those 10,000 things which surround us, then we could hunt for it and find it. But it is none of these 10,000 things and all of them also. And I'm sorry to sound very mystical and mystifying. In one sense, it is not at all mystical or mystifying. It's the only reality that there ever is or was. But like my professor in Buddhism, who teaches Nagarjuna, Professor Garfield, he says fish are the wrong people to ask about water. Fish are the wrong people to ask about water. We are the wrong people to ask about pure consciousness or Brahman, precisely because we are that. I can put it in this way in Vedantic terms, that whatever we experience exists, and that Brahman or the Atman is the very existence of all this, just as water is the very existence of all the waves in the ocean. Gold is the very existence of all the ornaments in the shop. Similarly, the Brahman is the very being, the existence of this entire universe. And you might say, what is that? That's you. The real you. Not the body. And yet, that being, once we find it out, that itself is the body, that itself is the person, that itself is this entire universe. So are you saying, has it become this universe? Then we get into deep areas of causality. It really hasn't become anything else. It just is. And that's why all this appears. So, We are missing it 1,000 times because we encounter it 1,000 times every moment. Because whatever we encounter is it. And yet we are seeing the names and forms and activities, people and places and things, good and bad, thoughts, emotions, ideas. That's all we see. We don't see the background existence. All of this, in all our activities, consciousness shines forth. And when I say consciousness, I use the word a lot, and I have become more and more conscious, if you will, of misleading people. By consciousness, I mean that by which we are able to see, hear, smell, taste, touch right now, by which we are able to think, enjoy, suffer, remember, desire, understand. But also, this is where one has to be careful. What I'm talking about is equally present now and in deep sleep and in anesthesia and in coma. So clearly this consciousness I'm talking about is not the kind of consciousness we talk about in layman's terms or in medical terms. The two are not unrelated. The consciousness that we talk about in layman's terms or in medical terms or in consciousness studies or in neuroscience is related to this pure consciousness which we are talking about in Vedanta, as moonlight is related to sunlight. The two are not unrelated, but the two are not literally the same either. Moonlight can come and go. With the phases of the moon, you will see moonlight coming and going. Sunlight is ever present. Doesn't come and go. Doesn't go through phases. Also, moonlight is nothing other than sunlight. Similarly, the consciousness which we talk about when we use the word consciousness in day-to-day life, or in medical science, or in neuroscience, or in the philosophy of mind, that consciousness is, it can increase, it can decrease, it can be there, it can be not there. You can talk about unconscious. But here it is one central light which is ever shining. The light of lights, what we call. And in that sense, we are missing it all the time. Why we are missing it is covered over, as it were, by our experiences. The variety of experiences we are having. We are missing it 1,000 times. One reason is, another way of putting it is, because we don't recognize it. Swami Vivekananda said it's exactly like a puzzle. Have we seen those puzzles, like a puzzle picture? It seems like a random mess of dots. But you are told that there is a forest and there is a lion in the forest. You don't see it. Until you look carefully, suddenly the face of a lion appears. The pattern, it's a pattern. Once, Vivekananda says, once you have it, you'll never mistake it again. The next time you see the picture, it just takes the tiniest of effort for everything to fall into place because you have seen the pattern. Enlightenment is like that. Experiencing the world as it is and seeing through, quote unquote, seeing through this appearance. Even seeing through, see, language fails here. Even seeing through is only a way of putting it. It's like you see through a wave to the water. Now, it's not that the water is somewhere deep inside the wave, at the core of the wave, at the heart of the wave. The essence of the wave is water. You have to put aside lots of things and then get to the water. No, the center of the wave is water, but so is the top and the sides and the bottom. In fact, it's nothing but water. But we are missing it because we don't recognize it. Yeah. It's such a strange thing that he said offhand. He was not really talking just to me, but he just said that to me. And then he talked to others also. I've always remembered it. Here's a little story I'll share with you about this monk. I won't name him. At one time, he was very close to Swami Vireshwarananda, the 10th president of our order, Prabhu Maharaj. And this monk, he himself told another monk who told me. Now, Swami Vireshwarananda, he was an extraordinary person. Extraordinary. He was a tiny, tiny man. When he passed away, he weighed barely 50 pounds. But those who have seen him, they say that it's like he seems to radiate intelligence through every pore of his being. Like the Gita says, Krishna says, Sarva dvareshu prakasham upajayate. The heights of sattva guna reached when, as if through every pore of every door of the body, light shines through. And it was a belief among people around him and many others that he could straightaway see into your mind. So this Swami, who told me this, you're missing it 1,000 times, he decided to test it. And he used to attend to Swami Vireshwaranji. So one day he decided it was his turn to be on duty. And Swami Vireshwaranji was sitting on a sofa. He was practically almost blind. Yes, if I'm not wrong. But anyway, sitting on the sofa, people were coming to meet him, and this monk's duty was to stand behind, just to be present in case something was needed. And he decided he would stand there as he did every time, but he would think most awful thoughts, most unmonk-like thoughts. And he started doing that, thinking those thoughts. And Swami Vireshwaranji was sitting there, attending to the people who were coming. As they left, he turned around towards him and he said, "That's enough, stop testing me." It's just a story which came to my mind. Yeah. So what we are looking for is continuously present, all the time. It's all the time present. Yeah. That's the meaning of the story of the Narasimha avatar. The little boy Prahlad was very devoted to God, and his father was Hiranyakashipu, this demon, and who didn't believe in God. And finally, and who had got this boon from. He had got this boon that nobody would be able to kill him. He had asked Shiva for this boon, that let me be immortal. And Shiva said, only the gods are immortal. Ask for something else. Then this demon, he thought of many conditions. Well, just bless me that I won't be killed in the morning or in the evening or in the night or in the daytime. I won't be killed by gods or by demons or by human beings. Or by animals. I wouldn't be killed by weapons, and so on and so forth. Now, finally, when the time came to slay the demon, God appears as the avatar. And there's this fierce debate between father and son, by the demon and the little boy, whether God exists or not. And where is this precious God of yours? And the little boy says, everywhere, everywhere, all the time. Why? I don't see it. Is he there in this pillar? There's a big stone pillar in the palace. And the boy said, yes, he's there in the pillar. This is a story every little kid in India knows. And the demon in fury, he kicks the pillar and shatters it. And from it emerges this terrifying, awesome form of a towering man-lion, Narasimha, man-lion form. So not an animal, not a human being. And he comes and catches hold of the demon. And he had made the promise that he had this boon, he would not be killed in the day or the evening or at night. And the demon, to his horror, realizes it's twilight. It's neither day nor night. And I wouldn't be killed inside the house and outside the house. He took him on the edge of the house, the doorstep. I wouldn't be killed on the ground or in space or in water. He takes the demon on his lap without any. I won't be killed by any weapons. So the demon is torn apart by the claws of the lion, of the man lion. So and the worlds are terrified by this the wrathful, terrifying form of God. But it's only when the little boy goes close to this terrifying being that the being becomes pacified and loving towards that little child. So that's the story. I still remember, because in our the head monk's room we had this picture. It's a rare picture. Generally Hindus don't keep that picture because it's a wrathful presentation of God. It's a very terrifying, awesome picture of the demon, the little boy, and the man lion, God as the Narasimha avatar, killing the demon. So present everywhere, but we don't see it. Is it present everywhere? Yes. Even in the pillar? Yes. But we don't see it. The enlightened one sees. Does he see him as a man lion? Unless he is a devotee of the man, God as the man lion, he will not see as the man lion. He will see as the presence, as existence awareness. And those who have heard the story, pardon me, but I'm going to repeat the story. It's a very funny story of little kids who performed the play. This is a well-known play, Prahlad Charit. Okay, or it's also known as Hiranyakashipu Badh, the slaying of the demon Hiranyakashipu. So the little kids, and this really happened, the little kids staged the play, and one kid dressed as the demon, and the other kid dressed as Prahlad, the little boy devotee, and they had the debate, where is God? And there were these two pillars made of thermocol in the palace. And behind one of them, the other kid dressed as the man lion was hiding. And the plan was, the demon king would say, is he there behind this pillar? He would say, yes. And then the demon would go and kick down the pillar, and from behind would emerge the man lion. And that would be the sort of climax of the whole play. And the demon king said, so where is this God? Everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Is he behind this pillar? But he pointed to the wrong pillar. And the little kid improvised. He knew this was going to end badly if he came and knocked down that pillar, because he could see the man lion was hiding behind that pillar. Is he behind this pillar? And the little boy said, no, behind that pillar. That ruins all theology. All right, thank you.